What is up YouTube, it's Kingfisher745, and in this video we're going to take a look at the Age of Ultron Hulk in PvP action, but we're going to be using him without his other Age of Ultron Avengers. So let's see how he does with some other heroes, and trust me, we're only beginning to scratch the surface of his potential team-ups. Also, as we get started, I do want to thank James at AJ Designs for the graphic. It's excellent work as always, my friend. As for our first enemy matchup, we're facing Star-Lord and Null. Also, the enemy agent of course has the Watchful Eye, and so we're going to want to try to stagger him using our level 2. Once staggered, he'll no longer dodge unarmed attacks. Now don't get me wrong, he isn't a protector, and even if he was, you could use your giant-sized Hulk smash to hit whoever you want. That's because it's catastrophic. The only problem I have with that is it does have Paragon Exploiter, and so you will want to hit first with your level 2. Because this attack consumes all stacks of Hulk up, you'll want it to do as much damage as it possibly can. So in order to get the most out of it, you will need that pressure points. And Hulk's built-in primary source for that is his monster-sized Thunderclap. After that, we'll use his level 6 Indestructible Titanic Hurl. That's going to cause Breakthrough and Wind Up. Breakthrough says the next attack is going to be a guaranteed crit, and Wind Up causes it to do 25% more damage. So just like that, we take out Star-Lord at the very start of the fight. Then also on our first team is another very hard-hitting Paragon Exploiter, and that is Captain Britain himself. To begin his turn, we're going to use his level 6 Smashing. This attack causes Slowed and has a 40% chance to stun. Because of that attack, we do gain Merlin's Gift, and with our second action, we're going to try to knock out Null with a Britannic. Unfortunately, before we even finish our thought, we almost knock out Hulk. It would have been much more impressive if we dropped 2 enemies in the first round, but hey, every fight can't go perfectly. And even so, this team still showed its early destructive force. Part of it just happened to be directed at itself. The good news is, after we fire the Legion Pulse Rifle, Null's turn is going to be quick, and then Hulk can try to take down yet another enemy. Okay, Null's turn was even faster than I thought, because Captain Britain smashing apparently did stun him. So then with Hulk, I'm going to use this setup once again, and finish it with his level 9. Is it always necessary to go through all the motions? No, because you may want to hit with more stacks of Hulk up. However, it is pretty nice to at least use his level 6. Then of course at the finish, we know what Captain Britain can do as well. So that team up is a ton of fun, and I definitely recommend trying it. You know, one other cool thing about the Age of Ultron Hulk is his ability to cause staggered really helps out with other melee attackers as well, like Captain Britain and Juggernaut. So, speaking of Juggernaut, his Surge of Sidorak is really going to help out Hulk. It's going to give him strengthened and boost his melee attacks. That of course is because of the buff Unstoppable Force. It says increases the damage of unarmed attacks by 50%. You can also gain this effect with the Momentum Generator. This is the Season 1 Chapter 6 Premium Mission Boss Reward. But yes, of course that 50% damage boost plus strengthened is going to cause Hulk to hit for a ton of damage. So that's the basis behind this team up. Juggernaut of course is a beast himself, so he'll also hold his own. Plus if he comes up against a shield team, they'll be sorry. But anyways, once again we begin with our monster-sized Thunderclap that sets up our pressure points debuffs, and then next we're going to use the Indestructible Titanic Hurl. As we attack this Protect agent, I can't help but notice they are very resilient. In fact, even our level 9 is going to do little damage, but at least we are going to crit. Because of that, I somewhat debated hitting someone else, but I figured we're going to have to take her out eventually. So let's start now. So this time, instead of a knockout, we hit for 4,000 damage. Fortunately, the agent is somewhat hurt, and they're only going to get to use a Hailstorm because of Exhausted. Then next up, it's the Juggernaut, and we're going to get to use that Surge of Sidorak buff. That should be a huge help. Following that, we're going to use our level 1 and try to stun or incapacitate the enemy agent. Take this Sunday Punch. Then after that, Null's just going to use You're Not Worthy, and that's the end of his turn. My agent has bleeding, and so I'm going to get rid of that and the rest of our debuffs using the warm Zephyr. Then for our actual attack, I'll use the Legion Pulse Rifle, even though the Worthy's unfortunately immune to radiation. Also, I didn't mention this earlier, but Kurth isn't affected by the Neuropurge either. That's because it's a psychic attack. So yeah, just another very unfortunate thing for us. Now with our Hulk, I'm going to be honest with you, I really thought about starting with his level 9. I just wanted to drop someone straight out. Then I thought, let's play it safe and we'll use our level 2, of course followed by our level 6. And maybe those AoE attacks can finish off the enemy agent. So once we throw this boulder, I'm going to assess her health and then we'll go from there. Alright, so she's very close to death. And since that's the case, we're going to use our smash on Kurth. It crits for over 40,000 damage. And the agent goes down to dots. So we only have Null remaining. And unfortunately he is going to get to attack because we used the warm Zephyr. After his Fatal Fist, we no longer have a Hulk, but we do have a Fire Tornado and our Legion Particle Accelerator. So let's go ahead and fire that, and then we'll leave it to Juggernaut to finish him off. It may end up being close depending on whether or not this attack crits, but we're going to use a Mountain Crusher. Unfortunately, we're affected by Cower. Alright, well, I did say Juggernaut was going to finish it. It's just going to take another round. First, we're going to use the Neuropurge, then the Fire Tornado. We'll shoot him with our Legion Particle Accelerator one more time. And this time, surely we'll hit him with the Juggernaut. Everyone, please cross your fingers. Here comes a Mountain Crusher. This time we crit and we take him down. So, moving on to our third and final team up of this video, it's going to be Hulk and Molly Hayes. And this time our entire team is filled with bruisers. That's right, we've switched Hulk over from Tactician to his bruiser class. And by the way, I can't help but think of the Bruce and Molly video. It's pretty funny, especially the beginning, so if you haven't seen it, check out the link on the screen. Now as we begin our attacks with my agent, he is slowly but surely bleeding out. And I just can't believe how annoying bleeds are when they're on your team. Don't get me wrong, I love bleed teams, but they just don't seem to do the same amount of damage to the enemy, which I know is just a perception thing. Still, this bleed has me quite worried, and hopefully we can take it off pretty soon. To do that though, we have to take down Pestilence Beast. Speaking of that villain, one thing I've noticed is he's beginning to attack a lot more once he's exhausted, rather than trying to use his quick action first. That's pretty unfortunate. I have to say I like when he uses his quick action first and just ends his turn. But, you know, it is what it is. I do however know one thing about Pestilence Beast on this team, and that's that unlike the Agent and Gamora, he doesn't have survival training. What this means is we can hit him with our level 9 and potentially take him out right now. Once we do that, we can clear our debuffs, and we should be good to go. So there it is, a 39,000 damage crit. And that's the end of the Horseman. As we finish this fight, there is one thing that I briefly want to talk about. And that's the fact that if I was using a Tactician Hulk against these infiltrators, or any hero that counterattacks, every time they counter he will gain a Hulk up. This means that until he's dead he can continue to attack with anything but that level 9. So for example, I often put the Bloody AISO on his level 1, and you could just keep using that, putting bleeding on the opponent. Then every time they counter, they'll take that damage. Since he'll keep gaining Hulk up, that means he can attack until he's dead. It's pretty impressive, and I will try to have that in a future video. Obviously our agent just now died to bleeding, and since he would have died anyways, I figured it was best to attack. Then of course Molly Hayes' Temper Tantrum came online. So with that we could easily attack until both enemies are dead. I have something slightly different in mind. But first, let's go ahead and weaken the opponents as much as we can. Our agent is gone, so we don't want to do anything too stupid. And since the enemy agent's up next, we might as well finish him off with Molly. Then after that, we're going to just weaken Gamora, starting with her dropkick. This is more of a setup move, so we do want to use that to help Hulk. And apparently a wind-up punch would do too much damage. So let's go ahead and use a Let's Play Catch. then another level 1, and we'll leave the rest to Hulk. We actually may have gone too far with this dropkick, because now I don't know if we can use our level 6 before our smash. So let's just go ahead and use that level 9 and we'll hope for a crit. Alright, well a 20k non-crit isn't bad, and that's the way this video is going to end. I want to thank you all for watching and ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck and take care.